Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today I have a warm-hearted replay sent in by U-139 in the one and only the German Ferdinand. And before we go into the replay, I'm sorry about my stuffed nose. Still, allergies plague me. It's not getting better than this, my voice that is. Anyways, what is the Ferdinand, and why do I pick this replay for you? Well, because I think it shows the strength of this tank, which is the firepower and the armor, but really also kind of indicates the one and only weakness, being flanked and not being able to really respond to it with the, very tragic maneuverability and mobility. So, armor. From the front, 200mm flat, thick German steel. The same goes for the hull, although there is on the left and right side a little bit of an angled plate on the chassis of the tank that is 80mm thick. Effective thickness is 140mm. The side plating and the rear plating is 80mm, and also the deck plating is quite considerable. So this is relatively safe from aircraft attack, unless they plague you with some heat rockets or also some bombs. And it's a pretty big tank, and that leaves only the gun. And this is the 88mm PAK 43, the long 88. It's also pretty good at long range, as this M41A1 Walker Bulldog will quickly demonstrate, and that was a beautiful shot at the cupola, but a little bit of an overkill. Nevertheless, 1000 meters per second mass velocity with the stock APCBC round with a high explosive filler of nearly 109 grams, and also 237 millimeters of penetration, and at 2000 meters it is still 181 millimeters. So there is the next customer, T-44, beautiful side shot through the turret face or the turret side, and that is his second kill. There is also the T-34-85. Now look where he is. He has barely left the spawn, and that is down to the fact that all enemy tanks just can flank and have a turret. This tank doesn't. And while you can effectively angle the armor, aside from obviously that 80mm weak spot on the left and to the right to the chassis, which you can try to conceal with bushes, but you shouldn't rely on it. That is where you always have to try to face the enemy with the armor, and tanks, for example, with the Soviet 85mm, they have no chance to really deal serious damage to you from the front. So then, in addition, we have an APCR round with 279mm of penetration and 1140 meters per second mass velocity. As this is shown by the M4 A3E2 76W, aka the Jumbo Sherman with the 76mm gun. The stock round is not just U-139's preferred shell, but it is the best shell to use, because explosive filler, still very good penetration values, and also easy to lead with 1000 meters per second mass velocity. And the next thing is the reload. Let's quickly talk about the reload. So the Jagdpanther, which is the more beautiful 6.3 German tank destroyer, has effectively the same gun, but has a reload of 8.5 seconds. The Tiger II, for example, as a reference point, has 7.5 second reloads. And 3 years ago, when I did the last video on this tank, it had 8.3 second reload. But because the crew compartment is big and spacious, you have two loaders, and they can bring the reload down to 6.7 seconds. It wouldn't have made the greatest difference here for this IS-1, but still, 6.7 seconds. That's the same reload as, effectively with the same gun, it shares with the Nashorn at battle rating 5.3. And now he has finally found the entry to the village, or to the city of Poland, and he is really looking for this M36 Slugger. Again, he doesn't want to get caught out in the open via a side shot by that American tank destroyer. Already 4 kills in the back, and he is frantically looking around. Where are targets? Where are oppositions? Where are opportunities to shoot enemies? And again, a city fight is really not the optimum for this tank. So he looks around and he doesn't see anything. He uses his binos, switching from binos to the gunner's view forth and back, and he's still hesitating. A tank to his left explodes at the hand of a T-34-85. Where is that? Where is that guy? And again, close quarters city fights with this tank is not its favorite thing to do. There is the T-25. I didn't see that tank. I only see the marker. Again, the advantage of the replay. But I didn't see the tank. So he is very eagle-eyed. Then there is an Su-85M. And he's then deciding to reverse. Good decision. If the situation is unclear, better safe than sorry. There is the M36, and I didn't see it behind the tree, but again, he finds a shot into it for his ace. And there is the T26E11, the Super Pershing. He wants to aim for the gun, but then wants to wait, but then decides to shoot the lower glacis, and beautiful penetration and one shot. And then he looks around, and again, very eagle-eyed, he sees the Su-85 and relieves it rather quickly from its duty. 7 kills. And this is how fast you can get from a boring to an exciting gameplay moment. There he also wanted to push forward into A, but a T-25 is very cheekily hiding behind this building, and I don't know if he has heard him a few minutes later. I cut out here a little bit, again editing magic, and then he sees the track and he decides to invest a shell into tracking the T-25, and he then goes forwards and backwards trying to angle the hull here a little bit, and it is at this moment where he makes a little bit of a more aggressive gameplay than usual, and versus a T-25 in that situation, well, he bounces off the side, but also he bounces a shell from something else. He moves forward into cover, decides to use the reload, aims for the machine gun port, and claims his 8th kill. Swings the tank around, if you can talk about swinging it around, you know, that is. And we could see that it was a Hellcat. And I don't know whether Hellcat has hit him, but usually the Hellcat 76mm gun is more than good enough then to go through the side of the tank. And finally, our German armored submarine can go for the cap, and then there is again an M16. He spots him, and this is where the heat shell of the Long 88 would come in handy, as it could hull break this tank, but it just flew through without, you know, triggering the fuse, and so the M16 didn't take any sort of damage. Now he is decapping A, and now he is using the building to his right to shield him from flanking fire, and he's concentrating his firepower and armor to the front. And this is where the Ferdinand is really, really dangerous. And the M16, well, he was distracted for a second, probably typing something in chat, and he missed the shot. But it doesn't really matter, an M16 is, in this case, no threat, a mere distraction or an annoyance. So now he is processing the capturing process, and if he will finish that cap, that would be the first time that his team has access to 2 caps, and they can make the enemy's ticket advantage melt away, which, you know, is a good thing in War Thunder. And you can see also, if you look at the minimap, the enemy team is still in possession of C, but one hero tanker is actually on its way to contest it. There is an ISU 152, and it manages to not spot the Ferdinand in the open, which is an achievement of its own, and serves us as 9th kill. There is also an M4A2, and he is barely away from the objective, and he is effectively already shooting at tanks in the enemy's spawn. But I think nobody can really accuse here U139 of spawn camping. I mean, yeah, he sees the M4A2 and was already pointing his gun at him, but that is just a testimony to how shit Gaijin's map design is. And then he sadly doesn't find the shell, or the shell doesn't find the way into the target. But anyway, what to do now? So the question is, has he overextended as a Hellcat killed the Tiger E behind him? And yeah, he is swinging the tank around and just tries to get into cover here. City fights are really not this tank's favorite environment. And now he has again a bit of time to use his ears, and he probably hears the M18 Hellcat that is a mere 110 meters, 100 meters away from him. Somebody drops artillery on it, and the Hellcat is like nopey nope and is moving. We can see this thanks to the replay tagging function, or the Marcus function, but he couldn't see him. And we can briefly see here probably some movement from the Hellcat, yeah, but maybe he did look at another portion of the screen. In War Thunder, when you look at replays, you often see things in your own gameplay that you thought you should have seen, but you didn't. He saw some movement to the left, the KV-85, and he prepares to intercept him here. But the KV-85 leaves himself some time and is probably slowed down by the concrete walls. He sees him, and that's the double ace. Nice side shot. And just as planned, the M16 MG-MC is annoying him. Now, the M16 cannot really do anything effectively against the Ferdinand's armor with its 50 cals, but the Hellcat now in front can, and he is dangerously angling, and the Hellcat, yeah, sets the tank on fire and kills the driver. He's not immobilized, and the M18 would finish him off here with the next shot, but then bounces on the upper casemate because that was then angled enough. And then a hero of Ostwind relieves the M18 of its duties, and suddenly this M16 is out of friends, yeah? Boom, kaput. Beautiful. And he's just simply pushing him out of the way like it's nothing, and really an M16 versus a Ferdinand, yeah, that's just how it is. Again, the team finally seems to have taken the upper hand over the enemy team, and C is in his team's hand by the hero tanker in the south. B and also soon A will also the team's captures. There is an M18, or there was. If not for the ammo hit, it would have been a hull break due to the engine being hit as well. Beautiful shot for kill number 12. And again, you cannot really accuse him here of spawn camping, Ferdinand. That would be an achievement of its own, since he is diverting attention from the rest of the enemy's team to his presence. And he bounces yet another shell. A few minutes later, again a little bit of editing magic, he finally decides to push into the enemy's cap to claim some more rightful kills, as he has really dominated this match nicely. He has shown patience, he has shown prioritization, situation awareness, everything that I really like. And again, here he also prioritizes the M18. The M16 again can't do anything from the front, and yeah, he's just in third person aiming now, but he kind of dips the shell into the ridgeline, goes for the reload. Again, 6.7 seconds for a fully trained ace crew, and again the shell dips low and goes into the ground. Third time's the charm, that's the question. The player respawned probably in an M25, and again he kind of kills here the commander and actually also hits the ammunition that just simply disappears. And that's then what, the fourth shot on this M16 for his 14th kill. Can he kill the T25? Well, he's actually out of APCBC rounds. He has gone through the entire stock of his shells, only APCR rounds left, but there is nothing left to shoot. And for good measure, the enemy team also throws his aircraft at him. And that was one hell of a fight on Poland in the one and only the Ferdinand, a tank that I featured for the last time 3 years ago. Beautiful heavy metal hero and survivor award, adding quite a bit on this free-to-play account to his 72,000 Silverline and 5,600 research points. And that was one hell of a beautiful battle. Thank you, U139, for sending in that replay. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and good luck to you, sir, in the future. And that's it for me today. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like with it, subscribe if you want to see more, and stay at home and, save the world by playing video games. And we'll see each other on the waves, in the skies, and on the battlefields of War Thunder.